Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gypsy Poet Radio. I'm the Gypsy Poet, and this evening we've got a band that is blowing audiences away and that is kicking ass in every aspect of their act and music industry. Please welcome the one, the only, the substantial and incredible El Camino Burnout.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, guys, how are you doing?
We're good. Great. How are you tonight?
I'm doing really good. As long as I'm on the air and I've got my wit and I'm spitting it, I'm fine. All righty. So you guys have an amazing sound that is very, very tight, and I have to emphasize that for those listening in. And I say this because I myself am a musician, and it's very hard sometimes to find a band that's got it this tight and this unified. So I want to get started with some of these questions here that I've got, and I want to know first, how long have you guys been playing together? That's the first question I want to ask.
Well, so it started with Brian and I and our producer about 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we went ahead and pulled in the other guys probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think it has been.
And that's when we started really rehearsing and putting together a live show. So I guess
awesome.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years with the whole band.
Oh, wonderful. How did you come up with the name?
So a little over a dozen years ago, this is Dio, by the way. A little over a dozen years ago, I wrote a song called El Camino Burnout that was about a friend of mine's El Camino. Mm-hmm. He had a 72 SS. It was beautiful, and I loved the car. Mm-hmm. So after going through a slew of names that would not work
at all,
yes.
I said, I had the song, and I love bands that have like their own theme song or come out with a theme song, and I had El Camino Burnout.
That's awesome. I like that. What a great quirky story there.
One of many.
I can imagine. I'm eager to find out more about you guys this weekend, so I'm excited. Yes.
It's gonna get weird.
I want to know. Yeah. What are your inspirations and influences in music? I want to know who or what inspired you guys to get into music. So this is a question for each of you, for Ian, for Brian, and for Dio.
Great. Well, let's start with Dio then. Go ahead.
Oh, well, for me, it was, I wanted to be a singer, but I sucked at it. So it was basically, I heard Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And I heard Randy Rhoads, and that was it. I had to be a guitar player.
I like that. Oh, my goodness. Next.
That's it. Yeah, we'll go Brian. This is Brian Huntsman now. Go ahead, Brian.
Hi. I think my influences started like when I was young. It was classic country, like really AM country, because I was riding around with my dad, and that's all we had was an AM radio, and I was listening to old country, and then when I got to be a teenager, I got into skateboarding a lot and order like punk tapes from the back of Thrasher magazine, and really got influenced by that. And then by the time I got my driver's license, I was in the metal. I mean, it was just across the gamut, just everything that influenced me all through growing up, and been in every one of those kind of bands in my adulthood. Yeah. And I think it's all kind of influenced me up to this point, to where it's just kind of a mix, just all kinds of stuff, and it's been fun.
That's awesome to know. The bigger the mix, the more fun it gets.
I think
so. That's it. Years of playing in bars and doing every cover song there is out there in every genre at some point in time. We've played it all in our separate lives, and then we come together and brought that influence to this band.
And that's what we asked each other is, well, what are we going to write? Yeah. ended up writing it all, kind of.
Yeah, and Sophia, this is Ryan Green. I'm kind of the outlier here because these guys are old school professionals. They've been on the road. They've been everywhere else. I'm just a classically trained pianist who, happened across a band forlorn in the desert that needed a little bit of talent, and I took them under my wing.
True.
And it's hard to find a good keyboardist around here. So what I did was basically bring them up from the depths and protect them, save them from themselves. But that's okay. My influences are, I basically started at 9 years old playing, not Chopin right away, but my muses were Chopin, Beethoven, Debussy, and the Romantic era composers were my favorite. They really spoke to me. And, then I ended up doing jazz band and all, the progression. Jazz band, played at my church for a long time, and that taught me improvisation. But then I heard Rage Against the Machine, I guess in 91, 92. Got a taste for metal, started playing metal bands as well. But I've always wanted to be a rock star, and these guys are the closest I can get. So they influenced me as well. At least be included and be allowed in the venue on stage and not be turned away.
Now he's speaking like a drummer.
Yeah, right.
To be included.
No, but seriously, my influences start out with White Zombie, Korn, Rage. They go on to Tori Amos, Nine Inch Nails, Opeth, and then Grieg, Chopin, George Winston, some New Age piano, and a little bit of everything, and even Willie Nelson. So anyway.
That's awesome to know. You hit home with me. I happen to be a classically trained pianist myself. And
really?
So
I just saw your cover of Nothing Else Matters, and that spoke to me as well, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. But seriously, I'm very, very happy to see that the way that you guys have come together. And especially your influences are pretty massive there, Mr. Green. That's awesome. So thumbs up to you and with everything that you've listed, because whatever you've listed is stuff that I've also been influenced by as well. So, again, kudos. What is the best part about playing live shows? This is a very important question because what I'm seeing in your photographs, you guys just have a blast with doing that.
Well, that's what it's about.
Everything. I mean, everything's what's cool about playing a live show. Just about everything. I mean, leading up to the show,
we have our rituals and our things that we do leading up. Yeah, there's the fun there. The kids. Mm-hmm. God, we love playing in front of the kids and having the kids come up to us.
Camaraderie, other bands, other musicians. It's fun. It's a fun community to be around, and you always have somebody to talk to.
When the audience relates to you, when they work with you, or not work with you, but they feed off of you, you feed off of them. It's a whole energy that you don't get in your everyday life. Whatever job you work or whatever you're doing, you don't get that energy from the audience.
The shared energy,
live.
Yeah, on a bigger scale, shared energy on a bigger scale, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sophia, I think this is Ryan again. I called it a chance for glory. Like, it's the ultimate in risk management. Anytime you agree to get in front of people, strangers, in a crowded room and say, we're here to entertain you, there's a huge risk involved. And that's, in our society, it's tough to speak in front of people, whatever. It's the ultimate vulnerability, at the same time, a chance to really influence other people or give them a gift, something that you've made for them freely to communicate. So for me, it's getting up on stage and risking looking like a fool, not playing the music they like, not communicating to folks, and then, feeling bad about that, or a chance for glory. Get it right, speak to a whole new crowd, gain some new fans, and be the center of attention for a short time, and then go back to your boring life. but our life isn't boring. But you know what I'm saying? That's ultimately that's what everybody wants to do, is be the center of attention, even if they don't admit it.
Okay, so I want to ask if there's any other bands that y'all have played with or even have opened for?
Well, opening, what was our first show that we opened for? We opened for the Smithereens.
Smithereens, I think
was the first one as this band.
Yeah.
Because, like, I go back in history, opened for Rat and George Clinton P-Funk All-Stars, you know, just a whole bunch of different things like that. But in this band, it was, I think the Smithereens was the first, then Jackal.
Jackal.
Which was interesting.
Yeah.
Lucas Nelson.
Yep. Lucas Nelson, Promise the Real.
Bon Jovi.
No, we didn't do Bon Jovi.
We didn't do that
We
one?
auditioned for Bon Jovi, and he hired country bands.
That's right. Then you know what? Actually, he canceled the Denver show because he had a hair appointment. So ultimately, that's what happened to us. Otherwise, we would have been opening for Bon Jovi at the Pepsi Center.
But he hired a country band.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had in this band we've opened for, you know, a good handful of great bands that we like to listen to, you know, especially Lucas Nelson, Promise the Real. I listen to them still to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty awesome. All right. So, what do you want your audience to take with them in your music? Or should I say, with the experience of you guys? That's what I want to know. What do you want people to take away from your music and your shows, and the whole substance of El Camino Burnout?
I want them to have fun the night of and have a good time, enjoy the music. But then on like Wednesday at 2:00, 2:30, all of a sudden they're singing one of our songs in their head. You know, and it's like, wait a minute. You know, and it kind of has a lasting thing to where they're actually, you know, becoming a real fan of what we're trying to do. Rather than just a fun night, I want it to kind of linger on until the middle of the week, and so somebody might hit us up again.
Which has been kind of what's happened with us, which is nice, is people contact us and let us know, hey, I've been listening to the album. You guys were great live. I've been listening to the album. When's the next show? Just that energy that we put off, the energy they give us, leaving satisfied after the show.
Yeah.
You know, a good feeling afterwards that they saw a good show. No matter what size the venue, we make sure that we put our best out there and leave them walking away like I walked away watching Black Sabbath or any of my favorite bands. I walk away full of this exhilaration and what have you, excitement.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what we like to do with them too. I mean, that's speaking on super big terms and a big comparison, but that's kind of the ultimate goal.
Yeah, we want to offer a no strings attached, have a good time. I think there's nothing wrong with true entertainment that allows people to escape. Like taking your attention, give us your attention because we're good, and we move it to, we want to give you this gift. The show's just, for me, taking on a whole new meaning, and I think that's what it's about.
I love the way you put that. And even an ancient philosopher, Plato, once said, music leads to all that is good, true, and beautiful, and I can see that you guys embody that. Do not forget that, please, because everything that I've heard so far, I've heard a few songs from you guys that Jukebox has sent me, and it is very, very substantial stuff. Like I said, from what I've heard, you guys are unified, you guys are tight, and you can feel the bond in your playing, which is very hard to find at times. So this is a really, really good thing that you guys have, and do not lose that. And I encourage you guys to keep playing, and I encourage my listeners to seek out your music because it is really, really good.
Thank you.
Yep, I mean every word of that. So we covered your influences, and I just wanted to know what inspired you, what sparked you to go into music? What made you say, hell, this is what I want to do the rest of my life?
Oh, flunking out of school. I mean, girls. I was 12. I was 12 and I had no interest in school or anything else. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to be on the big stages, Even though I also wanted to be a Major League Baseball player and fly jets. I ended up playing guitar. And it's all because of the big shows that I saw, that life that these guys led and being able to rock a million people around the world and, make music. You're creating something out of nothing.
Play your guitar and nobody yells at you.
Nobody yells at you when you're playing your guitar.
Yeah, sure.
But that was for me. I everything that I saw growing up in California, that's where I'm from, is California. And I was part of this, the scene out there when it was brand new, and it was everywhere. And I couldn't help but be a part of it, or want to be a part of it. It was exciting, and it's still exciting.
Mine, I'm different. This is Brian, by the way.
Yes, Brian.
I was different because I was so far away from it that, it was me and my brother listening to tapes of bands that we had to order from whatever the heck it was. You get 12 or so many free, and then you have to buy Columbia House. And we'd buy those tapes, and we'd listen to them and collect them and everything and listen to them while we're going to work. And we were young. I'd be 8 years old, he'd be 10, or, actually about 13, 14. And he needed a bass player because he wanted to start playing guitar, and so that's kind of what sparked us up, me and my brother, and that's when it started, and we were both dreaming of arenas back then. So, it was just the love of the music and harmonizing with each other, with me and my brother, and it's just music all the time. That's all we used to think about.
Understood. I like that very much so. So, one of you actually brought me to my next question, which was where are you from originally? So I want to know where you guys come from originally, and because that helps me tie up the patchwork of your band at this point.
Well, Ryan?
Well, I'll start off then. I'm fifth generation Western Colorado. My relatives, ancestors really came over in covered wagons here to settle Fruta and Grand Junction. And, this area is in my DNA. I did go out on my own and go to the big city and experience life a little bit, but I came back for a reason. And just briefly, that's where the core of our sound comes from. We call it high desert rock or high desert hot rod rock because it's becoming a uniquely Western Colorado sound. And we want to communicate that to the world. That comes from the Red Rock Canyons. It comes from the mountain forests, the Grand Mesa, all that stuff.
Not
all
the legal weed.
Yeah, legal weed was kind of an addition later, but anyway, that helps. But what we're doing is we're literally surrounded by mountains, and there's nothing like a Colorado sunset or a Colorado sunrise, and I'm trying to communicate that in our music in some weird way, but we have DNA here, and we want to portray that to the world, I guess.
Yeah, like our drummer Rob is from this area, but even though he's moved around Colorado, our bass player Paul, neither one of them are here tonight because they do have other gigs. Well, I told Paul yesterday about this, and he's going to join us Sunday, but I told him no swearing, so tonight he's doing a etiquette and vocabulary class so that he can join us Sunday with no swearing.
At a bar.
At a bar tonight, playing, a gig. But Paul's from the East Coast, Virginia area, something like that. And I'm from California originally. This is Dio. So I'm from California originally. And then Southern Colorado. I moved there when I was a teenager. And so Colorado's basically been it for me for 27 years now. Wait. 27 or 37? 37 years, geez.
And this is Brian. I'm probably the biggest transplant, but like the high desert sound, I'm from southern Utah, and southern Utah almost looks exactly like here. Yeah, it does. Red rocks and high desert. I mean, it is kind of the same, and that's where I'm from, is down there in southern Utah. So.
That's awesome. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple minutes here to listen to one of your songs, because this really describes the evening. It's this song called Beautiful. So I want to take about a few minutes. Yes, I want to play that for my audience because those are listening in are highly curious, and so I know it's towards the end of the show, and that's what I usually do. So let me go ahead and play Beautiful, and then I'm going to get to the last question for each of you. Here we go. This is Beautiful by El Camino Burnout.
Talking about like a mix of wine and whiskey, leaving a sip is not allowed. Oh, no, no. You're so beautiful, I forgot how good it could be. You're looking for the real thing. Nothing wrong with the county show. Wanna tie you to a gold ring, ready to ride this rodeo. You're so beautiful, I forgot how good it could be. You're so beautiful, I forgot how good it could be. Your daddy saw my face and Lord, it turned away. You never know till the gun is shined. I turned to you and said, hey, love about your sugar. Keep it low and slow. It seems the angel had a left wing when you walked that way to me. And I must tell you, you mean everything to me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I thought I should tell you. You're so beautiful, I forgot how good it could be. You're so beautiful, I forgot how good it could be.
Awesome sound. I love it. Wow.
Thank you
Like
very
I
much.
said, yes, you're very tight. Okay, with the last few minutes remaining on the show, what I want to ask you is 2019 is about to end, and we are going to go into 2020 in approximately 2 weeks here. What are your aspirations for the year for each of you?
New music.
Yeah, new music, meet new people. And yeah, that's definitely a goal of ours. Is we want to meet a bunch of new people because it's fun and interesting and
Yeah, get out as much as possible.
yeah, and play music.
Well, and to quantify it, I would think you need to have a time-bound goal that has an actual ending, but It's goal lines, what I'm trying to say. But we need to really establish our Western Colorado fan base and dial it in. We need to communicate our sound, everybody hear, and get our base going. But, you know, with the internet and everything else, we can expand it, like with this podcast, everything else. We're really starting to get almost an international support and provide that. But we have some goals of venues and a few kind of bucket list things to play. And I think we'll get there. It's probably not a year-bound goal. That's what I'm saying. Is it's a goal, but it's not.
The ultimate goal is Red Rocks.
Yeah, there you go.
That's like the ultimate goal. Get to Red Rocks. I mean, it's the greatest venue in the U.S.
If you're a successful Colorado band, you've played Red Rocks Amphitheater. That's the first stop.
That is true.
And then Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I can tell you guys that I feel blessed to know you guys, and it has been an adventure on this show. You guys have such an enriching story, and I absolutely, positively love your sound. You've got it, like I said before, it's tight and unified, and I will keep promoting you guys. This is absolutely amazing material you have. And this weekend, I'm going to feature all your other songs that Jukebox has sent to me. And we've got Driving Too Fast, Addiction, and Messed Up Heart that are going to be featured this whole weekend. And what I'd like to let people know is where can people access your music? I want to know where your music can be found.
Well, Amazon Music, Spotify, CD Baby, YouTube Music, iTunes, Apple Music.
Yeah, basically, wherever you go and you search out Queen of Burnout, it should pull up to the top our name. You can download it from your favorite service. We will shortly have a Facebook button where you can at least sample our music on our Facebook page. But right now we're at CD Baby. And any of your other Apple, everything else that you can download from.
Yeah, you can find the album on Amazon, CD Baby, anything like that, if you want a hard copy of it. But it's out there on, I think it's like 70 different streaming sites is what we're on. Mm-hmm. I don't know them all, though.
Yeah, but caveat that by saying that was our first album. Our sophomore album is going to be more along the veins of Messed Up Heart, a lot more keyboards, which I know you all want to hear. And that one's going to be a good one. So.
Amazing.
Well, then you really like
really.
I got keyboard stuff planned for the next album, the songs that I've got written.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a song the other day that I thought about, okay, well, now this is where a keyboard solo goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought that way.
Forlorn in the Desert, and I came to rescue them. That's what they're talking about.
Pretty awesome. Okay, with close to less than a minute to go, I want to say thank you guys for calling in on GPR, and keep going, keep doing, keep playing, keep singing. You guys rock, and
Absolutely.
I want to see more of this. You guys are substantial. Like I said before, these are the big three words I've got. You're tight, you're unified, you're substantial, you are amazing, and keep playing your live shows. And people, especially out in the Colorado area, go check them out. I know that you're going to love this band. Thank you guys so much for calling in. You guys really made my night. All right, so stay tuned on GPR. Yes, thank you so much. Stay tuned to GPR so you guys can hear more of El Camino Burnout. And I hope that you enjoy the shows this weekend. Thank you guys so much. This is the Gypsy Poet signing off saying adios for now.